Good morning, students. I'm Sheila Goel, your psychology teacher. Today, we are going to do chapter number 2, Self and Personality. Students, self and personality are two different aspects of ourselves. Self and personality refers to the characteristic ways in which we define our existence. They also refer to the ways in which our experiences are organized and show up in our behavior. Basically, self refers to the totality of individuals' conscious experience, ideas, thoughts, and feelings with regard to herself or himself. The study of self and personality helps us to understand ourselves as well as others. Our interaction with other people, our experiences give meaning to them and serve as the basis of our self. The structure of the self is modifiable in the light of our own experiences and the experiences we have of other people. So, students, we should understand that the structure of the self can be understood in the terms of identity of the intended and the development of the self. Now, personal and social or cultural identities. What are these? Personal identities is refers to those attributes of a person that makes him different from others. Now, what makes me different from others? Like I am Sheila Goel. This identity, my name, is my personal identity. I am honest, I am hardworking, I am a teacher. This is my personal identity and I am not sharing with somebody else. So, this is known as my personal identity. Whereas the second type is the social identity or the cultural identity. This identity refers to those aspects of a person that link him or her to the social or cultural group or are derived from it. Now, for example, I am a Hindu or I am a Muslim, I am a female. This is an identity that relates me to the social group. Okay, so these descriptions characterize the way people mentally represent themselves as a person. Now, students, we have to understand self as a subject or a object. Subject can be described as either an entity that does something or as an entity on which something is done. In the former case, the self is described as a subject, and in the latest case, it is described as the object. This means that self can be understood as a subject as well as the object. Subject, as an actor, engages in the process of knowing itself. Okay, he is the one who is doing something. Okay, self as a subject does something. As an object, it is affected by the consequences. Okay, students, as an object, self is affected by the consequence. Self gets observed and comes to be known. This dual status of self should always be kept in mind. We can't ignore these two aspects of the self. Now, self refers to the totality of individuals' conscious experience, ideas, thoughts, and feelings with regard to himself or herself. जो मैं अपने बारे में सोचती हूँ वो मेरा सेल्फ है और मैं एज अ कर्ता भी सोच रही हूँ और एज अ भरता भी सोच रही हूँ. दैट मीन्स एज अ रिसीवर, एज अ गिवर ऑल्सो. सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड सेल्फ एज अ सब्जेक्ट as well as an object. There are many kinds of self. They are formed as a result of the interaction with our physical and social cultural environment. See, we are continuously interacting with our biological and social environment, right? So these interactions leads to the development of different kinds of self. First is personal self and the second is social self. Social self is also known as familial self or the relational self. Now, what is the difference between personal and social self? See, students, personal self is primarily concerned with oneself. Okay, it is in this the orientation is towards oneself. Okay, emphasis is laid on those aspects of life that relate only to the concerned person, such as personal freedom, personal responsibility, personal achievement, and personal comforts. Students, we are only concerned with self, my personal self. Then I will only think about मेरी क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, मैं कैसे फ्रीली जी सकता हूँ, मैं क्या अचीव कर सकता हूँ, कैसे मेरे को कंफर्टेबल मैं और हो सकता हूँ. तो पर्सनल सेल्फ सिर्फ अपने बारे में सोचता है. Whereas social self emerges when we engage with others. Okay, when we are in relation with others. So in the family, see, we get the values. Okay, we get the values from the social relationships. So these include, social self includes the family values. The emphasis is laid on the things like unity, cooperation, sacrifice, affiliation, and other things. See, we are living in a society and we need all these things to understand ourselves. Now, there are various cognitive and behavioral aspects of the self. This is first is known as self concept. The way we perceive ourselves and the ideas we hold about our competence and attributes is called self concept. Self concept can be negative, positive. Okay, सी मेरा नज़रिया अपने लिए किसी चीज़ के ऊपर पॉजिटिव भी हो सकता है और दूसरी चीज़ के लिए नेगेटिव भी हो सकता है. सो आई कैन ईजिली से that self concept can be positive or negative. In few attributes my self concept can be highly positive, but in other aspects my self concept can be negative. So it depends on my perception. मैं अपनी competency, मैं अपने बारे में क्या सोचती हूँ, मेरा नज़रिया क्या है. Okay, so a person may have a very positive view of her in his athletic bravery, but a negative view on his academic talent. That is why I'm saying, in one aspect like athletics, I have a positive view, but in other aspect academic, it can be negative. At any even more specific level, one may have a positive self concept about one's reading ability, but a negative concept about one's mathematical skills. So we can have different self concept on different issues. So finding out an individual self concept is not easy. The most frequently used method involves asking the person about himself or herself. This method is known as introspection, जहाँ पे हर बंदा अपने बारे में खुद बताता है कि मुझे क्या अच्छा लगता है, क्या नहीं अच्छा लगता, मेरे को क्या चाहिए, क्या नहीं चाहिए. उससे हम अब उसके सेल्फ कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में जान सकते हैं. Right, now we are coming to the second topic of cognitive and behavioral aspect of self, that is self-esteem. Self is basically the value judgment of a person about himself or herself. What I am worth, that is the main thing that covers in the self-esteem. Some people have high self-esteem, whereas others have low self-esteem. If a person has high self-esteem, then his confidence will be very high, and in the low self-esteem case, the confidence will be low. In order to assess self-esteem, we present a variety of statements to a person and ask him to indicate the extent to which those statements are true for her or him. Right? For example, if I am giving a statement to a child, I am good at homework. A child may say yes, little bit, no. This shows his self-esteem, how he perceives himself, what is his judgment about his completion of work or how good he is in the homework, right? I am the one usually chosen for the games. This kind of a statement is a positive statement which shows high self-esteem. See, if it is true for a child, this means he has high self-esteem. If he says no, that means he is suffering from low self-esteem. We can't understand self esteem only in few words or few statements. Studies indicate that by the age of 6 or 7 years, children seem to have formed self esteem at least in four areas. We have to look into the self esteem on four major areas, that is, academic competence, social competence, physical or athletic competence, or physical appearance. All these aspects are very much important part of ourself. They are integrated in oneself, right? Our capacity to view ourselves in terms of the stable disposition permits us to combine separate self evaluation into general psychological image of ourselves. This is known as overall sense of self esteem. Students, see, to make the things very easy, what is academic competence? If you think you can do well in exams, that means you have academic competence. You have self esteem, high self esteem in the area of academic competence. If you think that you can go out and talk to anybody, anyone, and you can inquire something from unknown, that means you have a social competence. You can go through the crowd very easily and in a very friendly manner, that means you have a social competence. If a person is hesitant in talking to unknown person, or talking in the party, or talking in the meeting, that means he has low social competence. That means self esteem in the position of the social area is less. Similarly, physical and athletic competence shows that a person is sure about his physical strength, he is sure about his sporting techniques, and so he has high self esteem in that area. If you are confident about your physical appearance, then you will not be hesitant, you will not have, will not worry about your complexion, body shaming, etc. You will be happy with the way you are. But if your self esteem in the physical appearance is less, then you will be, every time you, when you will be wearing a new dress, you will be hesitant that is it looking good or not, is the person saying correct or not, is he just making good remarks for myself, or is it true? I will question my appearance every time, right? So it is very important that we should have a good overall sense of self esteem. Now, students, in self esteem, if we self esteem shows a strong relationship with our everyday life. For example, I have given you an example of a physical appearance. If a person is not sure, if he has a low self esteem, he or she will be questioning his or her every appearance, right? The things that he will use in the on his body, the clothes he will wear, the hairstyle, and everything. So in his behavior it will be reflected, right? For example, children with high academic self esteem perform better in school rather than those in low self esteem, right? Because they show anxiety. Low self esteem person will show anxiety, they will be having depression, they may also have antisocial behavior, so it is reflected in their behavior. Similarly, studies have shown that a warm and positive parenting help in the development of high self-esteem among children, as it allows them to know that they are accepted as competent and worthwhile. Children whose parents help to make decisions for them even when they do not need assistance often suffer from low self-esteem. So students, it is very important part of the parenting to inculcate the self-esteem in the children. If we make them confident, if we make them understand that you, whatever you are doing is accepted by us, they will feel high self-esteem, they will feel high confident, and they will do much better in all the fields rather than those children whose parents have been dominating, or they have been making the decisions for the children, or they have been always suppressed. Okay, so parenting style also reflects in the self esteem. So all the parents should be positive towards their children and should support the children's decision. They should be the guiders but not the decision makers. The decision, if the child is making the decisions himself, he will always have high self-esteem. So we have to make, as a parent, we have to make our children self confident. We should increase their self esteem in all the spheres, not only in one sphere but all the spheres. Thank you, students. I hope you have understood well. Revise it thoroughly, and we will continue the concept of self in the next class. Thank you, students.